So on this channel I've watched a lot of clips from Australian TV shows, a lot of funny shows, a lot of great TV, and today I'm going to be learning more about Australian movies. This is the top 10 Australian movies. Again, with all these lists I guess it's subjective, so it might not be everyone's opinion. I'm sure it won't be in fact, but tell me your favourite Australian movie. I don't know much. I've seen Chopper when I was younger, thought it was an excellent movie, but I don't really know too many other Australian movies. Maybe some will come to me in this list that I've seen before, but tell me your favourite Australian movie, recommend some, tell me what you think about this list.
Best Australian movies, you should definitely watch our picks for the best ones of all time.
What are we doing, man?
Just relax.
Number 10.
What is that, man? That looks pretty cool.
Animal Kingdom, written and directed by David Michaud. Organized crime is ultimately family business, and just like it always was with families, you can't just leave. When a young boy loses his mother due to an overdose, he is adopted by a loving family who has their hands in the worst crimes of the city. Now a young adult, he has no chance of leaving. But when a brave cop offers him help, he might get a chance.
Well, what do you want to talk to him about? Talk to me about it.
We'll speak to you again at a later time when we're ready.
I might have some information for you about those two murdered police.
Number 9.
Tell me more about that. When I was watching that, because of like the gritty nature of it, it reminded me of this other Australian TV show. I think it was from like the 2000s or early 2010s. Can't remember the name of it, but it was like some sort of crime drama. Tell me if you know the name of that. That's a bad description, doesn't really give much away, but maybe you can tell me. But yeah, after watching so much Australian comedy, it's quite interesting to see like some gritty Australian media, movies, TV shows.
9.
Right, obviously can do it very well.
Yeah, of course you do. And how the hell do you know that?
Predestination is a science fiction action thriller film written and directed by Michael and Peter Spierig. As a time travel story with intelligence and wit, Predestination chronicles the life of a temporal agent sent on an intricate series of time travel journeys. For his final assignment, he must pursue the one criminal that has eluded him throughout time, which turns into a surprising and mind-bending exploration of love, fate, identity, and time travel taboos.
The man that ruined your life. And if I could guarantee you that you'd get away with it, would you kill him?
Okay, I seen in the bottom it said Screen Queensland. Is that the same organisation that makes Bluey? But anyway, that movie looks right up my street. I don't know how I've never heard of it. I love like that sort of sci-fi movie that involves time travel and like different types of tech, future tech and stuff like that. I don't know how I've never heard of that. It got some famous actors as well. So tell me if you've seen that before. I've not even heard of it, but that's a must watch for me.
Number 8. Talk to Me is a supernatural horror film directed by Danny and Michael Philippou. As the first internationally acclaimed movie made by YouTube creators, Talk to Me delivers a gripping story that blends intellectually elevated horror with gruesome practical effects. It follows a group of friends who discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand. They become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and opens the door to the spirit world.
Say it! I let you in. I let you in.
Oh, that actually
Number
looks
7.
good as well. These are a lot more modern movies actually.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I thought we were getting away from all this shit.
The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, is a road comedy film written and directed by Stephen Elliott. Despite being loaded with laughter, comedy, and heartfelt humor, this road trip movie is also full of tender emotions and mature themes. When 3 drag queens make a trip through the Australian desert to amaze fans of drags and enrage homophobic citizens, they must also face their inner demons.
We're unplugging our curling ones and going bush, Felicia. Why would you possibly want to leave all this glamour for a hike into the middle of nowhere?
You really want to know?
Desperately.
I mean, that seems quite cool. That's actually something I think Australia could do well, those like road trip movies, because of the beautiful scenery, especially when you get out the more remote areas. It would be good to see that captured on film. Tell me if there's any other good Australian movies that show off those less seen parts of Australia. But again, very very interesting concept with that one with the drag artists. I guess could have been maybe relatively controversial at the time, I don't know, or something that's a bit out of the ordinary. So yeah, really cool.
Number 6. Moulin Rouge, directed by Baz Luhrmann. In
Moulin Rouge is
1899,
Australian.
Christian has come to Paris to follow the Bohemian Revolution that conquered the city's drug and prostitution-infested underworld. Nowhere is the thrill of the underworld more alive than at the Moulin Rouge, a nightclub where men come to be entertained by the dancers. But things take a turn for Christian as he begins a love affair with the star of the club, Satine.
It's just sometimes it takes a while for, inspiration to come.
Oh, yes. Let mommy help.
Got Nicole Kidman as well.
Inspire you.
So Baz Luhrmann I've heard of before. I didn't realise he actually created Moulin Rouge. That's pretty interesting. I think he directed, if I remember correctly, as Romeo and Juliet as well. I've never seen either of those movies. I just heard the name. He did have a song, I believe. It was something about sunscreen. It was like a spoken word song. Tell me if you remember that song. I just remember when I was young that it was like always on the radio. I think it did quite well in the British charts, but I just remember it just being so different to normal music. Tell me more about Baz Luhrmann. How's he thought of in Australia? Has he got any other big movies that are worth
Number
watching?
5.
You'll need to be a little faster than that.
Why are you making me do this?
Upgrade is a 2018 cyberpunk action body horror film, written and directed by Leigh Whannell. Set in the near future, the story follows Gray Trace, a stay-at-home mechanic whose world is turned upside down after a mugging leaves him paralyzed. But he is offered a chip implant that will enable him to walk again and is his only hope for revenge. Hesitant at first, he finally accepts the offer, but soon realizes that it is not as easy as it seems.
I need your permission to operate independently.
Permission granted!
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Nice. Okay, man, that's another one. Again, that's like similar to that previous one. Got that sci-fi element, kind of future tech. Right up my street again. Why have I not heard of these movies? Were these popular movies? I know Moulin Rouge was quite a big movie, but these other movies, were they like successful with regards to box office earnings, like reviews and that sort of thing as well? Tell me if you've seen these. Again, that's another one I need to see.
Shine, directed by Scott Hicks. As a true journey of inspiration and sentiment without getting too sentimental, Shine sees a young piano prodigy follow his passion to build a thriving musical career. But he is haunted by a traumatic childhood, and his latent schizophrenia surfaces, forcing him to spend years in various mental health hospitals. But it's never too late to find what you are looking for.
Old enough to make up my own mind. He thinks he's going to happen. I've been accepted into the Royal College of Music. What do you think is going to happen to you in London?
Well,
Number
seems like
3.
another very well acted, very good
Why is
movie.
everyone asleep? Please, keep your voice down. Why can't I remember anything? What have you done to me?
Dark City is a 1998 neo-noir science fiction film directed by Alex Proyas. Defined by appealing style and gloomy atmosphere, Dark City is the abstract yet incredibly impactful story that captures the feeling of dreaming and not being able to wake up. But the dream is rather a nightmare for its protagonists, who wander around in melange of substance about aliens, dark nights, and unspeakable acts.
Who are they? Why are they trying to kill me? Answer me!
My God, you really can do it.
I did that.
Number 2.
Awesome.
I'll drive that tanker.
The offer is closed.
Is this Mad Max?
Too late for deals.
Mad Max 2?
No deals.
Mad Max 2 is a post-apocalyptic action film directed by George Miller. The myth began with one man against the apocalyptic world, and it will continue that way, but with more blood, oil, and speed. After avenging the death of his wife and son in the Australian outback, he faces new enemies. Waves of outlaw clans that are after his head, forcing the road warrior to reconsider his status as a loner in this action-packed story with breathtaking stunts. Before we unveil
Okay, that one I kind of knew that Mad Max was Australian. Thinking about it now, that's pretty interesting. Is Mad Max 2 better than the original Mad Max? It's very rare you see like a sequel is better than the original. I mean, maybe not so rare. I think like some people say The Godfather Part 2 and stuff like that. There's other ones, but is that the case? Do you think what's the best Mad Max? I've only seen one which was like not the most recent one, but the one before that. I think it was with Tom Hardy. It was like the remake of this, I think, which I enjoyed. But yeah, obviously a very
movie number 1. Here are a few
Australian
honorable
movie.
mentions.
You went to Adrian's house? Yes. You just walked right in? I found something that can prove what I'm experiencing. That can prove that Adrian is stalking me.
Poor dears.
Tense.
Such a long way. You must be exhausted.
Rabbit.
Come along. I'll take you straight to the dormitory. Quickly. It's all right.
So this is it?
My honours duty didn't show, so I had an idle hour to fill.
Keith Ledger.
Made that in an hour.
Well, Panadine to morphine, 1 hour 10. You get rid of the paracetamol.
Number 1.
Oh, this is the one I think I've actually seen. Do you think this is better than the original?
Mad Max Fury Road, directed by
Well, that
George
was
Miller
almost
and
10 years
released in
ago.
2015. The
Didn't
fourth
realize it was so
installment
long.
in the Mad Max franchise takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the remaining population has to fight for the basic necessities of life. The story follows 2 revolutionaries, a woman fighting to reach her homeland and a man trying to move on after the death of his family. The film successfully and spectacularly depicts the madness of the post-apocalyptic world.
Do you agree with our list? Please let us know in the comment.
Yeah, tell me what you think about it. Yeah, I'm sure people got different opinions like that. Even like just the argument or debate between the remake of Mad Max and the original. I'm sure a lot of like people would just prefer the original. But interesting list. I've not heard of a lot of those movies. Only Mad Max and Moulin Rouge I've heard of, actually, come to think of it. So definitely want to check out a few of them, but I'm sure there's a lot more Australian movies that are not on this list. Please tell me about them as well. Chopper's not even on this list as well, actually. But pretty cool list, very diverse list of movies as well. Tell me what you think about it and recommend some other Australian movies. Thanks.